Can your I-130 be approved by USCIS and then rejected by Department of State? The answer is yes. So what happened is, after you, let's say you file I-130 and you start your application for an immigrant visa for your spouse. You got married and now you collected all the proof that your marriage is bona fide marriage. So USCIS issue an approval receipt. After your case has been approved by USCIS here in the United States, now you're ready to start your process with a Department of State, with a consular processing abroad in the country where foreign spouse resides. But here's the problem. After processing certain documents as requested by Department of State will issue a notice for the interview. And you will be under duty to come to this interview, and your spouse, if your spouse is in the United States or is located in another place, that's possibly that your spouse will be interviewed over the phone. So you will be in person if you are a foreign spouse, and a U.S. citizen spouse who petitioned for you would be interviewed over the phone. So you have to be very careful if you are not together for the interview, because there might be a lot of miscommunications. Okay, for example, your spouse will relate to Officer 1 information, and you on the other side can forget about something and relate absolutely different information to the officer over the phone. So you're looking at a very dangerous situation, and situation when USCIS cannot approve your application here in the United States, and the Department of State over there in a foreign spouse country can reject your application and say that your marriage is not a bona fide marriage. That's why always consult with an experienced immigration attorney, so that you know your story, so that you know each other information, and perhaps it's better to attend interview together with your spouse in a foreign country. Remember, guys, that please do not commit fraud. Okay, marriage fraud only for immigration purposes is really bad. For your history, you probably will not be able to come back to the United States, and you got to be very careful, because you might need a waiver if you commit a fraud. So therefore, you have to be very careful with collecting of your documents. You have to be very careful specifically with information that you relate to the immigration officer here in the United States and abroad. So if the U.S. Department of State rejects the visa, USCIS will issue you notice of rejection.